Scott, first and foremost, welcome to MK Dons. I know you've been here a few days now. Just talk us through the last few days. How's it been? Bit of a whirlwind?
Yeah, I think it always is when you first go to a club, and I think what's really clear is that the lads have been brilliant, which is obviously pleasing for me. They've taken on the information that's been given to them so far. Obviously, we've got a big game to prepare for, and we've had 2 days to do that. So we've been mindful that we didn't want to overload with information, but also we have to get some into them. So I've actually enjoyed it. I've enjoyed working with the players. They've been brilliant, and the staff as well. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the last 2 days.
Just talk us through that decision then, leaving Crawley, coming to MK Dons, dropping a division. Was it about the vision, the future, the possibility here at MK Dons?
Yeah, I think so. I think, like, speaking to the owner and obviously Neil and Liam, what this football club wants to do is really kick forward now, and I think it's important that I went to a club that wanted to do that, because I want to do that. I want to be progressive with my career. I want to grow with a club. I don't want to be somebody that hops around to club. I don't want to do that. I want to be at a club and really grow. And I felt that this was a really good fit for me. Obviously the playing style. MK Dons has always been predominantly a possession-based kind of football club, as it were, which I'm a possession-based coach. Obviously there's different aspects of how I see my team playing. But yeah, I think it was a really good fit for me, and obviously for the club as well, in my opinion.
I'm going to address something that's been talked about ever since your name was mentioned, and that was the playoffs. Because I sat and watched, certainly the game here. I've never seen a more dominant side come to Stadium MK and absolutely rip MK Dons apart. I thought it was a fabulous performance. I know MK Dons fans, well, I hate me saying that, but it's a fact. Is that the style of football that you're looking to play here at Stadium MK? Yeah,
for sure. Listen, certainly them 2 games, everything seemed to fall really nicely for my team over them 2 games. I'm not saying that we got luck, because I don't think there's any luck involved. I just think that sometimes we played that well during the season and didn't get the result, or didn't score as many goals. Things just fell really kindly for us in them 2 games, and we played so well. But yeah, I'm hoping that my team play like that every week. That's what I want. I want to be possession based, but also really aggressive with it, in terms of how we press high up the pitch, how we defend, how we recover on a turnover of possession, but also how aggressive we can be with the ball. We don't just want to make a million passes at the back and go nowhere. We want to try and play through the thirds and through the lines really quickly and aggressively, so we can create goal scoring opportunities at the top of the pitch. Of course, unfortunately, every week you play against 11 men who stop you from doing that, and that's when you do end up making more passes at the back than you want to, until you find a way through. And I think the way I coach my team is to play, through a press, over a press, or round a press, and if we can coach the team to be in positions where we can do that, then we can cut through teams really quickly. And like I say, yeah, I want my team to play that way, but it doesn't always fall as nicely as it did for them playoff games for me when I was with Crawley. But yeah, I want to be predominantly possession based, but aggressive with it.
And of course the result of that is MK Dons supporters welcome you with open arms, because they've seen what you're capable of, and the response has been very positive, Scott.
Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Obviously, I was very respectful, and I always am. I'm always a respectful coach manager. Who, wherever I've gone, I've never, I'm not on social media or anything like that. I'm very respectful of football clubs, and even at half time or the halfway point when we were 3-0 up, I never ever, in my preparation or my planning or even any of the press that I did, felt that we were through at that point, because I didn't think we was. So I was really respectful of the fact that we're only at halfway point coming into the second game. And of course the team really performed well for me on the night in the second game, and we went on to record sort of like the biggest ever EFL scoreline, which I'm obviously really proud of, but that's gone now, it's history, and now this is where I am, and this is now my future, so I want to build something really special here.
And I suppose it's made it a little bit easier when 2 of the players that were involved with your side, we'll talk about the whole squad and your thoughts on what you've inherited, but you've got Liam Kelly, Lawrence Maguire, that's a bonus for you and probably for them as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, listen, they're two really good players. First and foremost, they're really good people. You know, think that's important to me. Is that my players are good people, and they certainly are them too. You know, they're very good players. Obviously, Liam Kelly. You know, he was outstanding throughout that playoff campaign. You know, and he is an outstanding player. And Lawrence outstanding as well. You know, he very comfortable on the ball, steps in. You know, starts a lot of our attacks off and can sometimes finish them attacks as well. Scored a lot of goals from set pieces for me as well. But yeah, two really good players who I'm familiar with. I also coached Joe Tomlinson before as well, his time at Swindon. So yeah, another good player who can play kind of left or right, and can play off both feet, and very, very talented football. So listen, the squad downstairs is fantastic in my opinion. I think we've got real strength in depth. I think it's a really good squad.
That's my next question. You must be licking your lips, because there's certainly a feeling from fans of MK Dons that they're maybe not, fulfilling their potential, some of the players that you've got down there, and that there's real possibilities.
Yeah, for sure. I think it goes without saying, and they probably at the moment have underachieved. I think that's fair to say. But hopefully we see a turning point soon. We've got obviously a very tough game in Bromley tomorrow. We know it's going to be a challenge. We know it's going to be tough. But listen, I've had 2 days training with them, and I've been really pleased with what I've seen. But it is early doors yet, and I'm hoping with the players that we've got downstairs that we can see a real turn in results, certainly.
Like you said earlier on, you're not going to overload them with information. Was it just about kind of stamping a little bit of who you are in the first few days, getting through not getting through the Bromley game? That means you're discounting it. I'm not saying that, but almost getting to next week where you can really settle down and get stuck in.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that I just want the players to play with a little more freedom. If I'm honest with you, I think that having kind of analysed MK, over the years, I think that it's kind of been a little rigid for me. I want to be a bit more kind of imagination from the players. I want them to play with freedom. I want them to feel like the shackles are off a little bit and go and enjoy playing football. I'm not saying they didn't enjoy it before. That's not what I'm saying, but I want my players to be inventive. Certainly in the final third, go and score some goals, go and create, and of course as well, I've put little bits of detail in terms of how we look without the ball as well. I want us to be aggressive and win the ball back quickly.
We talked a lot in the past about the possession, but it's got to have some purpose as well, hasn't it? That's what I suppose is half your job, keeping that possession, keeping that style of play with maybe a little bit more purpose.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the idea behind it. If we can make one pass and score a goal, we do it every time. But unfortunately, there's 11 players out there stopping you from doing that. And that's when you end up making more passes. And sometimes the crowd can maybe get disgruntled by that. But trust me, if we can make one pass and score, we would. But yeah, we've got to pick our moments to play through. We've got to pick our moments to play round, or we've got to pick our moments to play over sometimes, and hopefully we'll see that in the coming weeks, and we'll see kind of more freedom from the players and more inventive play from them. We've certainly got the good players down there to do that. But yeah, I think everybody should look forward to what's to come.
And obviously, how important was it for you to bring your staff with you, your coaching staff? That's a big part of any setup, isn't it? I mean, that's presumably hugely helpful for you as well.
Yeah, because there's quite a lot of detail involved in without going overboard, it's quite a lot of detail involved in aspects of the play and what I call the game model. And my staff know it inside out, they know it inside out, and I think that's important that I have them staff members with me. Of course, they're hard-working, or they wouldn't have been with me in the first place, so they work extremely hard. We was here till, gone 6 o'clock last night working, and that's kind of the shifts that we put in most days, and they watch the opposition and find out where the spaces are, where we can hurt the opposition, as do I, and they understand how we train, how the training sessions look from day to day. So yeah, I think it was important to me. Even down to little things like meetings, they know how they run, they know how they're delivered. So yeah, it's great that I've got them.
Just mention of Dean Lewington as well, because he kind of comes with the wallpaper here.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. You know, how do you see working with? I mean, he's a player first and foremost, obviously, but he's obviously keen to get into coaching as well. Is that something you'll encourage from him, help him with? You know, move him along. It's important, I suppose, to be able to work with somebody like a club legend like Dean Lewington.
Yeah, for sure. I had a really good chat with him yesterday, actually, about, you know, first of all, I wanted to know what he wanted to do, because I don't want to kind of put him in a role that he's not comfortable with, you know, and you know, he made it clear that coaching was the route he wanted to take. So I thought, brilliant, you know, in you come then, you know, with the doors open. I want you to be in with me and my staff. I want you, you know, to work closely with us and be kind of a player coach, as it were, you know, because obviously, like you say, he's still a player, and you know, there's going to be times when he does play. But yeah, bring him close and bring him in. He's obviously got bags of experience. He's been here a long time, like you say, and we want him to be part of what we're doing moving forward. He's a good character. You can tell already. You know, you can see that he's a likeable character within the group. So I think that's important that we have that. And yeah, we want him to be with us and to learn off us, and we can learn off him. And you know, he can be in with the coaches and put sessions on as well, because I think that eventually he will be a good coach, you know, or will be probably a good manager one day, maybe, you know. But yeah, he's obviously starting the first rung on the ladder on that journey for himself. So I'm here to help that. And
a great, not liaison, but a great link between the dressing room and yourself, isn't it? It's almost not the middleman, because you've got staff to do that, but it's that another piece in that jigsaw. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's important. We had that, you know, with Crawley when I was there. We had that with Ben Gladwin. Ben Gladwin obviously retired last season and became part of my coaching staff there. And you know, listen, he was exactly that for me at Crawley, you know. And yeah, so Dean can certainly add that aspect of the team. But yeah, important figure.
Just a couple more from me. Just going back to Liam and Lawrence, what was their reaction to you? You know, how did they react to you turning up here or coming here?
Well, I think obviously when Mike had left, I think there was a lot of media and bits and pieces about me being the link. So there was kind of text messages quite early on.
Did they text you and I'll come and pick you up?
Yeah. when you're turning up and them sort of things, but more banter than anything, really, you know. And you know, I remained professional throughout that process and didn't say too much and just let the process happen. Really concentrated on my job still at Crawley, which I did.
I suppose you've got to do that, haven't you? You've got to do that as a pro.
Of course. I think on Tuesday I took a shape session on working on how Crawley were going to press against Bolton for this weekend. So I was really detailed on my work still until I think it was Tuesday night that it was almost pretty much done. But I'd gone to work and done my job still, you know. And all the time, I suppose Lawrence and Liam was texting me throughout, and we were, you know, more banter than anything. But then when it was done, it was kind of like, yeah, I'm coming in, you know, and see you tomorrow, guys, sort of thing, you know. So yeah, but listen, we're here now, and you know, looking forward to getting the first game underway tomorrow.
Just one more from me, and promotion's the aim, isn't it? There's no messing around. There's no calling it in any other way. Promotion is the aim here this season. Definitely.
Listen, I'm a winner first and foremost. I want to win games of football. I want to win titles, promotions, whatever you want to call them. But you know, whether we do that or not's another thing. But that is definitely the aim. We're going to be trying to win every single game we play in. Will we win every game? Probably not. But that's the aim, and that's what we're going to be focusing on.
Thank you.
Away form is something that you may or may not be familiar with at Dons this season. It's not been great, but you've got 2 away games straight off the bat. Fixing that is obviously going to be high up the priority list for you.
It's a fresh start. You know, the season starts now, really. You know, so what's gone in the past, gone. You know, we're focusing all our efforts on winning a game of football tomorrow against Bromley, at Bromley. And whatever's gone on in the past is gone now. You know, this is now the start of the season, as far as I'm concerned. And let's see how we go. You know, the players are really focused. They seem in good spirits. We had a really good meeting yesterday, going through some bits and pieces. We've had a couple of set-piece meetings today, and we've had a really good training session. Well, 2 good training sessions yesterday and today. So yeah, the boys seem really focused and on it. So let's see how we go. But the away form for me isn't a problem because I've not played an away game with this club yet. But like I say, the season starts for me as we are now.
So what do you expect from Bromley then? The team's obviously come up, but seems to have made a decent hatchery so far.
Yeah, Andy Woodman's done a great job there, hasn't he? You know, obviously won promotion, like you say, last season. So they're, you know, they're obviously a very strong side. Having watched them, you know, they've got some real attacking threats in Michael Cheek and scored some goals. You know, they've got good players behind him. They're very aggressive, very big and powerful. You know, can be direct at times and can make passes as well. So we know it's going to be tough, but we've done some work on that. And listen, it's about us in many ways. You know, we can analyse the opposition as much as we can, and as much as we do, because we do. But at the end of the day, it's all about what we do really. And if we get our game right, we should be okay.
You know, you said to me the other day you're not going to be looking to reinvent the wheel in the first couple of games. But how different do you think MK Dons could look tomorrow?
Well, I'd just like to say, I think that we want to give the players a little more freedom to express themselves. Certainly in the top end of the pitch, we want a little bit more freedom from players. We want to create goal-scoring opportunities for players. We want to try and ask questions of the opposition. We don't want to just play in front of them, make a gazillion passes and not go anywhere. We want to try and, of course, own the football, have possession, but we want to be aggressive with that possession and try and, you know, whether that's putting the ball wide and getting crosses in, or whether that's trying to get shots away, or whether that's trying to slide passes through, whatever it may be, we want to be more efficient with the ball, should I say. So let's see.
And finally, it's a sold out away end as well. Dons fans obviously going to be excited to see your first game.
Yeah, and listen, I'm really excited to see them. You know, one thing I think that's important to me is that building a connection with the fans. I think that's something that I did really well at my last club. You know, and I want to do that here because I think it's important. I think it's important that we have that connection. You know, there's going to be times when we don't get it right. There's going to be times when we lose games, and they're probably not going to be happy with me. That's normal because it's football. But I'll always be happy with them because I know how difficult it is. You know, with driving up and down the country and watching your team and paying money out. I know how hard it is just to live life now. You know, in these times where, you know, food shopping's a lot to buy food and the bills, you know, to pay for your bills and that, and for these people to travel up and down the country and spend their hard-earned cash to watch the team play. I think it's important that we respect that, which I do. And I want to build that connection with them, you know, and I'm really looking forward to walking out and seeing them tomorrow.